Hey, so this is something I just wanted to get off my chest. Obviously everything that's gone down in Charlottesville is horrible and terrible. But I think in the coverage of everything, something's getting lost, and I think the narrative is fucked up. So I went to this vigil for the victim of the attack recently in my hometown here, and it was nice. It was nice, and I'm very grateful that it was put together. And I didn't do the work to put it all together, but it was very good sense of community and everything. It was a little churchy, but a lot of times the only people you can get to organize anything, and the only people with notoriety are church leaders, so they end up functioning sort of their traditional role as community activists and these sorts of things. So whatever, it was nice, but something struck me as very weird, and it's something that I've seen in the coverage of this whole event in general, which is that a lot of the speakers focused on, you know, we need to come together and realize that race is real in America, and look at how this horrible thing that was racial and done, and what white people need to do to know about their own privileges and compensate for their whiteness and all this sort of thing, which is valuable information and helpful in some ways, but the victim, the only person that was killed was white, and the vast majority of the people present, from what I could see, were white. And if you wanted to view this in purely racial terms, I mean, what you had was two groups of white people fighting each other over, you know, the future of race relations in America. And frankly, the leftist people that were there protesting against these Nazis could easily have stayed home, and their lives would not have been different. They chose to go out there and put their bodies on the line, to use the parlance of, you know, a lot of these sorts of people. Put their bodies on the line, and one of them died in the line of fire, in the line of duty, fighting these sons of bitches. And my point isn't that white people, you know, not all white people, or don't be mean to white people. It doesn't hurt my feelings, and it's true that the Nazis are right-wing racists, and that I'm not saying this isn't a discussion about race. What I'm saying is that the left, I feel, is missing an opportunity to realize that this was an American political struggle in the streets for the soul of America. And I feel like the narrative around the reporting has been that these white supremacists came out, basically white people came out as a show force to demonstrate against black people, which is not inaccurate, but it's not, it's precise, but it's inaccurate. It's focusing on one element of what went down there, and to me, I feel like we're really dropping the ball if we let these motherfuckers determine what's going to be viewed as the white race, or the position of the white race. And it's depressing. It doesn't make me angry or offended or anything like that. It's very depressing to me that these people go out there and they take on these white people, and it's just viewed as, you know, look how bad racism is in America, when in fact it's really one very specific group of people for whom their whiteness is very important, going out and making a ruckus, and when everybody else in the country, white, black, Hispanic, otherwise, comes out to fight them, and one of them gets killed, who happens to be white, the whole thing is viewed as, look at what these terrible white people are doing. And I'm not, again, my point isn't that, you know, that whiteness wasn't an important part of why these skinheads and shit came out. My point is that the left is missing an opportunity to paint this as, you know, those right-wing sons of bitches are doing this kind of shit, and it's incumbent on everybody else to take note, and that these sons of bitches are doing this to us. Like, we can't let them get away with white identity. So that's how I feel. I feel like there's a real opportunity missed here. Because the reality is, this wasn't just about white people hating black people. You know, this was about a specific group of white people who are off on their own weird trip, terrorizing everybody else. Because if you think that leftist white people or non-racial identity type white people are any less hated by these sons of bitches than any other kind of person, you're mistaken. This is not... Well, that's how I feel.